What do you do? So, by the urging of a few people, take that initial step and go on YouTube or whatever sites I want. Now, of course, it's going to depend on my views, my talks. So, I'm listening to 92.9 The Game, so I'm going to actually turn it down so you can hear me more. So again, this is my man cave, by the way. Also, we're turning it into the podcast center for all of us Talk Nation as well as Apex. This is going to be one of those moments where you're going to hear some stuff. You're probably going to get some laughs because I'm one of those, I don't really take myself seriously. Bandit, get out of there. Got a dog named Bandit, yep. So, with that said, you are entering the Apex Zone. I am C-Double. So, number one thing, what do I do? How do I make these wrestlers? First of all, inspired by the NDC, meaning I have to have either seen them or talked with them, get a feel for them, then watch the way they do their work. Also, there's an awesome site to go to. It's Bad Apple Boutique. And you need to check them out if you're a wrestler because they make some really great gear. Quite a few of the guys that are being featured in 2K19 that I've worked on actually got gear from them. So you definitely want to check it out. Hoss Michaels, Sam Cooper, Nia Monet, Ravazine, and Dementia DeRose. I know Aja's gotten stuff from them. So those are just a few things. You see the Money in the Bank thing hanging? Yes, that's part of the man cave. If I could move the camera a lot, I would, so you can see the whole man cave. But for right now, you're not looking for me, you're looking to check this out. So, let's get to fast tracks. Also, what we're going to do is we're going to put this feed out there. We're actually going to try to get as many people as we can to watch it. Because I would like as many folks to watch. Oh, yeah, Facebook has this new thing, guys, so forgive me. I'm trying to, where you can actually go into groups and, you get an idea of what I'm doing, so. So, this is part of the deal I gotta do, so just please bear with me. We're going to talk a lot of wrestling. We'll talk a lot of sports also. Big sports fan. Wrestling, especially with the stuff that happened with Roman Reigns. So that's really going to be a thing here that we'll talk. Alright, so now that I posted on a few sites on Facebook, definitely check us out. And if you're going to message me, please don't, especially because there are times I will literally forget all about you, especially when I'm focused on these things. And it's nothing against anyone, it's just one of those things when I'm making people, I like to try to put as much effort and time into their character as they've given me over the years. A little story, it's real simple. I've gotten these video games, I played them so long, and I loved it. And then I had the ability to go and see the wrestling shows live. And that's when I was able to go, you know what, I want to be a part of it, I want to see it more. Started working with some of these guys. And because it is close to Halloween, because we are close to what, people are, Halloween like to dress up. There's a guy that pretty much has symbolized the spirit of Halloween. and that would be this guy. His name is Darkman. Action again. I'm actually, yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm trying to get all the things that I want to be able to see him live. It's called Money. So if you have that, let me borrow some. But with that being said, Darkman is one of those wrestlers that has been around, but also been around the block, but also been in movies and everything. What I like about him is he's so committed to the character of Darkman. You go to the live events, you'll see he'll have his merch table. The connection quality currently not sufficient to broadcast game. Okay, I'm learning, so please understand, folks. We'll make this all work. But just to stop the broadcast, press the share button and it says, okay. I'm not stopping the broadcast. We're going to keep going because I'm pig-headed. But yeah, I like Darkman. He's one of those guys that I've seen cracks me up. And he posted the other while back about a match with him and Otis, and he'll be another one I want to make, just so you know. But the reason why I'm picking Darkman is the fact that when he wrestles, and the gimmick, the presentation is unbelievable. So I think I have all my logos I need to make him. So this is how we do it. First things first, you see the model. Obviously, if you know Darkman, he is not white. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix him up, all right? Number one thing I do, what I always will do, is I go onto my Google, and I'll actually just type in, especially if I know you've been around and you've been, in multiple wrestling organizations in the indie scene, I know you're going to have a bio. Every man has a bio. And the bio basically is their height, their weight, their, moveset, if you're lucky. I really just like to get I don't even like to get just all that. I like to get, personally, just the height and the weight. I can come up with the rest. So, and that's what we got so far. It's a lot of that. And what I like about him is he's got that characteristic of Darkman. Very good story. Watch when you watch him wrestle. And I think I put him at 7 foot last time, so we're gonna just do that. We're gonna make you the monster today, Darkman. Sorry if you a monster. But no, for real. So what we do is I get the pictures, and the reason why the pictures speak to me so much is because I want to make sure it's accurate. I don't do a lot of these logo things where you get like the face with no eyeballs and all that stuff. Just the simple fact is I don't know how to do that. So I would love if someone watches this and wants to show me, that would be great. But as of right now, I go by eyesight. And for the last 4 years, I've had a lot of good comments. Darkman's always liked the work, so we keep that going. So what I go is, originally I like to go to their actual wrestling page because that shows me their look. Also, he's got a good one over here on his profile. I won't show that because I want to be respectful. But here we go. Well, this is the first time I'm doing this live. Normal size, big size. Because it's Darkman, I'm actually going to go normal. Customizable face. This is where you actually will look at the teeth that WWE 2K, they've gotten okay on some things. There is a few add-ins they did that I liked. Like I think one I just went over. Yeah, the fangs. They added that into that one. Looks pretty cool. The one thing I hate, and you're going to see, I'm going to struggle with throughout this thing, is when I'm working on a wrestler, I like to know where I'm at, and they have a little highlighted square on where you're at. So that's really tough when you're playing this and you're wanting to make sure it's as good and you're trying to find out where you're at. That's just a personal reflection. 2K, you could do better on that one. I'm going to give him a slight fang look because, you don't have to go overly bored. Some people think when you make a wrestler, you want to make it where, oh my God, it's so different. No, make it where it's believable, but it's also where you go, man, I'm glad we went that route. I always like looking at this part first. The eyes. It always gives me an idea to go. These are blemishes, folks, if you haven't went through them. Some wrestlers actually will have noticeable marks on them. My best thing to suggest to you is, if you know for a fact they do, try to get pictures of it. And not be so abrupt, but the reason why is, if they're not afraid to hide it, then they're showing that they can work with it. So you can actually put that in, and it actually makes them feel like, hey, you made sure when you made this, you looked for that. You actually put that in there. That actually will give you some credit. So just a little hint there, how to do it. So, like I said, what got me into doing this? Well, I've always been a wrestling fan. That was never gonna change. So what I did was, I was disabled, was not able to go to wrestling shows because of my back, and also workman's comp and all that wonderfulness. If you ever dealt with it, you know what I'm talking about. And by the way, I'm looking at a video of Darkmon. If you ever want, that's another thing. Let's see here. Well, that's fine. He's talking. But what I like is when they actually have their full face, because that gives me an idea how they look. Forehead. Here's why I said that. Best way to do it, you always want to zoom the guy in. Then you want to look and see if guys have these kind of wrinkles in their forehead, or maybe just a little bump in their head like that looking. They also have the New Jack Abdullah look, where you can add your quarters into your forehead. I would always say, some folks are like, oh man, that's not really important. It's only important if it's on the person. Meaning, if you're watching somebody and you're seeing their look and you notice it, and then you go, I did not even put it in there. Well, you're going to beat yourself up for it, because you upload it, people are going to look. That could be the one thing they see. So it's just a little bit of a detail. Now, this is the biggest challenge for me. I normally take about 2 to 3 hours on doing this. So with that being said, the timer is on. I'm narrating. I'm going to give you, info. And then also, I'm trying to do this within a 30-minute time. I'll probably next time do like a 60, but I didn't want to try to go that far, especially when I'm listening to the guys, and also it's raining. My back's bothering me, so being in this chair really hurts too. Also, what's cool is, you see how people change over the years. Really enjoyed seeing how Darkmon has grown. I know a lot of folks, some folks have a love him or hate him moment. Me, it never's crossed, so I don't have nothing bad to say. I always respected him, live in person, and that's the way I do it. So, next question I like to do, or next thing I like to, well, a couple of things. We're still working on this. I go to the face template because, real quick, if you go, sorry dude, you go to not the face template, you go to face the formation. You can do the regional, okay? I don't. Structured, that's what we're going to do. You're going to see me in action on that one. But now, here's something close that I do, just because I'm trying to make it where it looks like the person. Understand these faces aren't going to be them, but what they are going to be are guys maybe close enough to the face that you could shape up and make sure it looks like him in the game. Alright, so with that being said, this is where I look. I get very critique on this, or I really critique on this one. I wish 2K would do more face styles, because I think that's something they're missing. The more selection, the better, is the other thing I like to say. Let's see, got the face. See, that one would do. Actually, we're going to try this one. And like I said, guys, give me a time. I'll work with it, and I'll show you how I can make this face into Darkmon. And if I can't, I go back to the face I was working with originally. So we go to the structure. Head size. Darkmon has a tall head, actually, believe it or not. So what I like to do is I like to try to get it as tall as possible. So, also he's 7 foot. Well, 6'8", I think it is. And dear God, if he's mad at me about that, I'm sorry, dog. But now, the head's not as wide as, some people will tell you. Give me a minute. This is also going to be the challenge because some people are going to message me and I can't tell them, hey, don't do that. So, here we are. We are now, it's at 50. I'm going to bring it a tad. So 55. Hey, Drew, you're going to need to let Bandit out. He's sniffing at the door. So now we go to ear tops. Now, some guys you can actually pass off and not worry about because of the fact that when you look at them, it's like, okay, you're never really going to see that part of them when they're wrestling. That's not the case with Darkmon. Darkmon actually has the head pulled up, or sometimes has the head shaved. So you gotta actually have his pronounced, his not just pronounced ears, but you just have to make sure they're legit looking. So they don't protrude like Dumbo. So let's just get that straight. So ears, I don't really normally take a lot unless they are one of those that it's just they're just part of his look. Then I do try to go to that. Alright, then I'm looking at how that ear looks and how I'm going to make it look that way. So this is the vertical stretch. Vertical stretch basically means you're stretching it out that way. As you can just tell, and I just did. No need to do that. We're going to just put it about 20. Don't worry about the placements in the forward back. I don't do that. Does not really. Now, the earlobes. This is very carefully. I love phones that let you zoom in the picture because it actually helps. So here's the low detachment. He doesn't have that. I'm looking at a picture. So what I do is I try to make it as close to what I'm seeing. There are times I will do this. I will take my phone and put it up to the person, and then I try to compare it. This is small details, but this is what you do when you're making a wrestler. Alright, lobe length. Same here. You always want to go full. I would always suggest, if you don't know what it is, go all the way out, see the area, see what it's showing you, and then adjust accordingly. Alright, Darkmon has kind of that, close to the ear bit. It's already aligned at 50. I don't worry about that. Now, what I do, though, is I like to get the newest picture. Because to me, the newest picture tells me all I need to know. Alright? When I do the face. Now, the ring stuff, oh, don't worry. I'll get to that. So, let's see. Congratulations, though, by the way, Dark, on being a dad. One of my favorite things that's seen on Darkmon's page, I ain't gonna lie, is him going to these cons. Back in the day, he went as himself, and it was awesome. But now, being a dad, he actually is being a dad, and it's actually kind of cool. That's where I was saying it's neat to see people step their, not step their game up, but just be themselves, and he definitely has done that. And then, let's see. And by the way, folks, that's a very good picture. When you're working in wrestling, or when I do the wrestling and make wrestlers, I always want pictures where I can actually make the guys and I can see their face, meaning I can see certain characteristics like the freckles, like the smile, like the, just that look. And now we have it, so this is where we go. All right, now, where are we at? We're going to go to the forehead. All right, so you see how it looks. We're going to bring it down some, not totally, because that actually looks just like it. So now we go to forehead itself. That was forehead upward. This is more the bottom part, where the eye brows are kind of pronounced. So, like I said, it just takes a lot of just working on it. Eyebrows, this is length. I always go full max just because that's me. there are some things I do. All right, eyebrow depth. Here we go. We're gonna go as far out. How does it look? All right, we're gonna bring it back some, and probably 25 will do. The eye depthness, I'm going to show you how we're going to fix that. By the way, WWE 2K, thank you for going to a white backdrop. It makes creating easier, as well as does make you feel like you're taking forever to make them, because you have to change light parameters, and you can move the guy all over the place. So it actually gives you, like I'm looking at Darkmon this way, well I'm going to do that for him so I can see how it actually looks. That's what I'm talking about. They did a very good job on that. Some people are not giving 2K enough credit for that. For me, for a creator, I think that's like major. You can ask my teenagers, they will tell you when I make them that the backdrop was my biggest fight, if you will. So, talked about all Wrestle Talk. Wrestle Talk is coming back. We're gonna, I'm gonna have a crew. I'm assembling a group that can actually get online, and we're gonna, bring the voice to the fans. I think fans, a lot of people have told the fans that they're just fans. Well, that's like the NFL saying that to the fans, but guess who pays the checks? The fans do. If the fans didn't want to pay the check, they could easily just say, hey, figure it out yourself. Now, here we go. We're going to look at the eyeballs. Again, I go to a different picture, and I'm just going, okay, how do we look? The length of the eyeball. There you go. You're going to see how it actually affects. Some guys have smaller total eye. Some have big eyes, but just small eye sockets. And then when I do the eyelid thing, it just shows you how wide you're going to be able to open them. Believe it or not, he can open them good, especially when he wears the white contacts, or wears the white, or the blacks. By the way, he really does put a lot of thought in his gear, or his look. Love it. I'll never forget, one of my friends thought it was cool to talk to him, and I kept looking at him and going, "Can you do that?" So it's like, you just, I learned, respect it. Respect certain folks. Some folks you can just look at and just go whatever. And they're not going to be in my group. It's all good. And some of them don't know how to use the phone anyway, so it's all good. And, we're going to talk a lot of stuff. We'll talk about Impact Wrestling, about Austin Aries No Cell, the main event, how stiff it came off on TV. We were watching it, and we were just kind of, me and one of my buddies, and by the way, I don't like telling people's names. That's always just like a no-no for me. So, and by the way, it's Halloween. We're about to see Halloween stuff. So guess what? I want to do Darkmon for them. It brings good juju. So this is where I have to memorize what I did on the left, because I like mirroring what we do. That's the only thing I wish 2K would have done. It's, when you get to the ID formations, whatever I do on one side, do on the other. I mean, I know some guys, are different. I'm not. I like what I'm doing here. So let's see. And if this, now I might not make it, so we're gonna have to do a part 2, I think. So we're gonna go here, go to left eye, 50, 70, 60. All right, 70. And like I said, now look, that's cool. It's gonna be on the timeline. Just have fun. This is just something, like I said, people were talking about, hey, you really should do this. So that's where I'm at. All right. So again, I always try to make it as wide as possible, and then I decrease. And usually, it's always in the middle. And that's just something I've learned. So, this is just something that, everybody has to do. Now, height obviously raises it. So what you do is you look, you see how much forward it goes, and then you try to make it where it's not going to be as pronounced. There we go. I'm not worried about depth. I just never am. Because sometimes it's not needed. Now, nose bridge. Pretty interesting. He actually has kind of a narrow nose bridge. You know, and then, you know, we're going to go high. And by the way, one of the big things in wrestling, everyone has been talking about was Roman Reigns' announcement of leukemia, that he's been fighting it for the last 11 years. Fan of, what was it? He was in Georgia Tech. I was listening to Sports Talk. I was actually remembering hearing a player named Joe who had cancer. They kind of reported about it, and I never really thought about it. I just was kind of like, okay, well, he'll be fine. Didn't realize what I knew, as 20 years ago, I was 21. I thought, you could fight anything. Didn't know as I like to say, I didn't know how impactful cancer was. And, I'm not afraid to say it, by the way, it's killer. It's bastard. I wish people, if you are dealing with it, I pray for you. Lost too many people, lost too many friends. I've lost my mother to it. Just remember, you're not alone. You will get through it. And when it gets real hard, don't forget you have people on the other side. Let them help you through it. That's just a little thing there. I'm not preaching on a pulpit. I don't do that mess. That ain't my style. Not because I'm ashamed or nothing. It's just just like in wrestling, everyone wants to tell you, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. All right, whatever. I just live life. So, and like I said, each detail is important. And as I've told people, when you're making this, it's like some go, well, it doesn't really matter. Actually, it matters because it's your work. So that's where I try to help people out. And, if you have a question, I'll try to answer it. I help where I can. All right, there we go. I may have to do a two-parter. I did not think about this. But that's all right. I'm not going to be upset about it. So we're going to go 60. Lip fullness, I'd like to see how small we can go. And then I'll bridge right there. So there's that. He's obviously not that. We're going to go about. But, but yeah, those are some things. And then 2 heel turns that people were not expecting, which kind of makes me laugh when I hear that. We heard the folks saying, well, why did they do the Dean Amber? I don't know why. I think, personally, if you ask me, I like it. There's not even, I'm not upset about it. I think it was awesome. Remember, no one saw Seth turning. So it's like, I think if anything, it was getting to the point where WWE needed to chill on it because they were overly hitting at it. That's where my issue was. Cheekbones, I hate cheekbones, but valuable. So what we're going to do is we go all the way up, and then I look at the picture, and then I go the way it should look. Alright, we're going to go middle. So what were y'all's thoughts? What did you think of 2K? What did you think about, what did the 2K done in the games? Did you like some of the new additions? Did you not like it? I've read how some people didn't like how some of the guys looked. You're always going to get that. Some of the things didn't sync right. I get it. But again, I'm not going to lose my ever-loving mind. I think a lot of people need to remember you can only do what you can, and I got to go here. I think this game is a lot better than the Fire Pro game. I've seen now. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get it. I will get the game. I will try it. But my thing is, when I saw it, it made me feel like, oh my God, this is like 2K. This is like Nintendo or PS2. No, we moved up for a reason. you don't go. It's like, okay, you don't buy a house just so you can say, man, I want it to look old, decrepit, dilapidated. And that's what's cracked me up with a lot of people. It's almost they lost their minds because they were like, oh man, but it looks so good. It looks like, it doesn't look good to me. I try not to, get mad about it, but it just did. You guys know if it don't look right, you gotta say something. And I think a lot of folks didn't say stuff. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know, was that really something needed? But yeah, that's just my thought. Like I said, and I may be swimming alone on that one. I don't mind. I like the water temperature. So, it is what it is. So we go here, and then, like I said, go all the way. You'll always have to because it actually helps you making it. I know a lot of folks can just do it like bam, 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 bam. Me, I don't. I like to try to get it to where I want it to look and go from there. By the way, if you're getting to go to Halloween or you're going to have friends, please be careful with the weather. Be careful, how everything's going. Here in Georgia it's kind of wet, or it's going to be wet. I already can feel it. Back will tell you. So, and by the way, to WWE folks, what do you think? I mean, we got the women's show. I got a lot of opinions on it, not in a good way either. I try to be understanding about it, but guys, I really hate when you're going to try to tell me this is something that y'all been planning, but when I watch the shows, I'm going to tell you, y'all haven't even put enough thought in it to make me believe the lie. And that's where I hate. That's where WWE I think is messing up. You got a lot of talented women, and you're not showcasing the ones out there. Wow, that was okay. So there's Darkmon. I know you're going. I don't know. Does he look like it? I know. Sometimes you're going. I'm trying. So now I'm going to move up because what I want to do is the next possible thing. I always, as I'm looking at somebody, I always go, okay, now let me. By the way, the Rockstar has sounded really good. Let's see here. Like I said, some people are going to get the benefit of me messaging them back because they rank that high. So. Love it when you put your gimmick on there and I can actually go back. Now, I said I was going to go here. We're going to go here to body. Darkmon stands about, hold on. Yeah, I look sexy. I got my belly showing. We're going to make him 6 foot. Now, the thing I like to do, again, is I like to pull up pictures of the guys, because if you're doing the work, you're going to put your stuff out there. All right? You're going to showcase your body. You're going to make sure people see what you're working with. This has always been a good resource. This resource right here, hold on, make sure. Yeah, camera's not helping matters, but that's what I'm using. So, or that's, yeah, see? Yeah. There we go. So, let's try to do this here. We're going to go with the first body, and this is where I try to find the outie, number one. Now, you're going to be like, C-Dub, that doesn't look like it. I know. Again, it's all about being patient. Alright, so now I go to the neck. And by the way, I know he doesn't look like him. That's the whole point. If you ever make someone and they look like their guy, automatically, you've messed up. Because there's so many other things you're going to have to do that you don't want to end up forgetting. Alright? So, I like to go and look, but I think this one, because of previous abilities I have, I can figure this out quick. Alright. And then I'm looking for the abs. Again, it's not about, making them over and abundant. Sometimes you just want to make it where you know they're there. Now, if I forget a tattoo, guys, just know I will come back and I will make it. I'm trying to find. Alright. Alright, so there he is. Now, I know what everyone's saying. Dub, come on, he ain't white. No, really? So again, and I'm sorry if you can't see my face, but I'm not moving the camera because I'm trying to figure this out. What I do is I try to get close to my TV, and then I go, okay. And there you have the base. I know. If you could do it, man, I say show me. Because I don't mind. I'm not mad about it. Now, a little trick of the trade I like to do. Copy. Go to the next guy. Because that's the entrance. Entrance work. You can actually do everything you want. And then from there, swap it around. So now, watch this. We're going to do number one. What I'm going to do, because I like this so much. By the way, folks, I hate the blocks. Just like you know. Alright. Now, and like I said, what I like to do is pull up a lot of folks. Hold on. DM Styles. Yes, motherfucker. You see me. I just saw you. You better come back now, you know, if you want to chat with me or shoot me a line. But yeah, I'm just trying to make a wrestler. Like I said, I had people tell me, hey, why don't you make them? And I'm like, first down or you had two, and then. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna tell y'all, this isn't easy. By the way, another thing I love when people do, get on freaking Instagram. Even though I can't rip pictures off of it, it's fine. I find a way. But what I like about it is sometimes people can get some really good stuff on there. All right. Yep, he still has the same hair. All right. So, hair's number one always. Nope. Nope. Hell no. So we're going to go to the Mohawks, because let's just be honest. When your name is Darkmon, you're not going to have a three-piece suit. I love the feature copy. Use it. Now, the picture I'm looking at, again, he had no beard. Or he had no mutton. Mickey, show me your Mickeys. Oh God, I hope, oh, what am I saying? No one's gonna watch this. And I don't mean it that way, folks. If you're watching it or you end up seeing it and going, oh, how did he do that? All right, let's watch. Cool. Maybe I've done this too early. Maybe. I don't know. So yeah, the beards, I always, if you notice, I'll stay quiet because I want to try to get those right. Because sometimes what I'll do is if I don't see what I'm looking for, I will go ahead and just make it the way I need to. And you know, that's not as easy as it sounds. Yeah, but there are times I go upstairs to get the clothes and do all that. I try to stay active. I know that sounds crazy. Trust me, if I could get out, I would. Yeah, sorry if I got quiet, guys. I'm trying to figure this shit out. Doesn't do that though. Yeah, this is where you get little distractions and you go, okay, what will work? How will we work it?